Welcome, friends. It's daytime here. And of course, I have been staying on top of all of the articles and news sources that are getting ready to speak out on the Josh Duggar sentencing. And I'm here because yesterday I put out a video saying that Denise Wilson was the widow Josh Duggar had been faithfully donating money to each month. It turns out that directly before the sentencing this morning, Denise sent in her letter to the judge supporting Josh Duggar. Why didn't the widow write a letter? What about this specific person caused the Duggars to want to support her? Friends, I've done some research, and it appears as though I found out some important information I'd like to share with you. So come along and join me down my last few Duggar rabbit holes. About a month ago, I read a Duggar AMA in which an old Duggar friend told the tale of how the Duggars got their big, beautiful family house built. The Duggar insider claimed that Jim Bob relied heavily on help from friends, neighbors, and church members. And it turns out one of the main motivating factors in getting the project done was the fact that Jim Bob had a lot of help from a close family friend named Clark Wilson.
Clark Wilson appeared on 19 Kids and Counting. Clark was a contractor who worked on the homes of many ATI families.
We need help.
Clark Wilson and his family, they are dear friends, and he offered to help us.
Taught us about welding and cutting and how to do all this from the ground up.
Put a little gas and a little oxygen. All right, John David. Just put on the edge of the steel. Now give it a little oxygen. Move it as you go. Come toward me with it.
Clark Wilson was married to Denise Wilson. He is the father of 11 children. He was often featured on 19 Kids and Counting, where he assisted both the Duggar and the Bates families with their home construction. However, in 2015, Clark was diagnosed with multiple myeloma after seeking treatment for bone damage in his right arm. He underwent chemotherapy and radiation to treat the cancer. On January 18, 2018, at the age of 57, Clark passed away.
Please check out my video from yesterday if you want to know all about Denise, and I'm going to share the letter with you now. Your Honor, my name is Denise Wilson, and I am a friend of Josh Duggar. I first met Josh when he was 9 years old. Him and his family were very outgoing and friendly to all of us. We got to know the family even better when my husband became the Duggar family's pastor. My husband counseled Josh as Josh yearned to better himself in any way he could. Josh led our singing at times and was eager to do so. He always was finding ways to encourage others. Josh was serving, outgoing, and friendly while constantly seeking to help others of all ages. We continued to grow even closer to Josh as my husband and I spent time on a daily basis in his and Anna's home for over a year. I was impressed with Josh's eagerness to learn and to work. He joyfully served, offering words of encouragement to everyone and being lighthearted. Josh has a heart of giving, serving, and blessing others. Josh gave us a nice trailer for our family music ministry, even putting our family's name on it. I was shocked and delighted at how professional and beautiful it was, an example of his joyful and giving heart. Josh remained the same in giving, serving, blessing, being authentic, and humble at all times. Despite all that he has been through, he continued to be these things and more. Josh has a heart of giving. I saw Josh as a loving husband to Anna, respecting her and serving her. I saw his devotion to his children by paying attention to their needs and encouraging them to live right. I saw the way he honored his parents in the way he treated them with much respect. The biggest two things to me was after my husband got sick and was not able to work for close to 4 years, we had traveled back to Arkansas to work with the Duggars, and Josh was right there helping my husband do whatever needed to be done. After the Lord took my husband to heaven, Josh and his family traveled several hours for his service to be there for me and my 9 children. Josh told me he and Anna were going to support me and my family monthly to keep my finances. When he told me how much it would be, I was shocked. It was a gracious amount. Josh acted as if it was just a natural thing to do. He told me, "We're just doing what the Bible says. To have pure religion is to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction." That is exactly what Josh and Anna did for me. They were there for me and have been there for me these past 4 years. I have been abundantly blessed, and the Lord has sustained me through their generosity. My most recent time in Arkansas, I needed something checked on my car before traveling back home, so I stopped by their shop. Josh was incredibly busy, but he came out anyway and fixed what was needed without charging me. This was a huge blessing. Recently, Anna called crying, saying they were not able to do this now because of their situation, despite how much they wanted to continue to support me. I explained that they have been an extraordinary act of love and generosity to me, and I know the Lord will continue to provide for me as He promised. I'm truly grateful for the love and support they gave me for 4 years, and I know they will be blessed because of it. I could share many more stories, but I wanted to express that Josh has been there for my family and me. He has continued to demonstrate his humble, accountable, and servant's heart whenever and wherever he can. I will be forever grateful to the Duggar family. Blessings and thank you for your time. Denise Wilson. All right, guys. So this is what I shared yesterday. Denise Wilson is the wife of Clark Wilson. Okay, guys, so there we have it. This is Clark Wilson's widow, Denise Wilson, writing in last minute to the judge. It kind of sounds like a situation where she may have been very coached into what she needed to say. It kind of backs up a lot of the statements that were published before in the other letters. And I'm sure that Jim Bob had a hand in ensuring this letter came in. They may have waited. I mentioned this before in some of my other videos. The lawyer I spoke to, who's worked at the Sentencing Commission before, let me know that other letters could come in at the time of sentencing. And this is one of those letters. They may also have people stand up and speak at the sentencing, and that will be very interesting to hear other people's perspectives if they decide to do that. I'm interested to see if any of the siblings will speak. I have been thinking that they won't, but after seeing this letter, I feel like anything could come down the pipe at this Duggar sentencing. I don't think the letter in any way really serves to help Josh with his sentencing. I think that it once again shows that Josh has manipulated many people around him. He has a lot of support from his family, and they do not seem to fully understand the extent to which Josh needs help. So letting him out of prison is the absolute to go home to a family who doesn't understand the help that he needs and the problems that he has. I think those letters only served to likely push the judge harder to give him a longer sentence. So what do you guys think? It's interesting to know who the widow is and to see this letter last minute. I wanted to share it with you guys, and I look forward to hopefully live streaming and talking more about this at sentencing time.
It's so interesting to me. With all the problems the Duggars have, they can also do really good things. And I believe, based upon some additional research I've done, rather than Josh just giving the $2,000 every month, it was really a contribution from the whole Duggar family, just kind of funneled through Josh, probably because he could use the tax break or something. But the money most likely came from the business structures that have been set up by Jim Bob and that are run by all of the boys in the family. Maybe Josh wrote the check, but the money was coming from Jim Bob's empire. I do my channel to share the truth of what I found, And this rabbit hole led me to a place where the Duggar family is doing something good for a family in need. Hopefully, Denise Wilson is okay, and her story is actually important to share because I think it's a prime example of what many women in the Quiverful movement may have to face. Having children well into your 40s with a man who's likely to pass away before you leaves you with the potential burden to care for many young children on your own should your worst nightmare take place. If people in the church aren't willing to help support a widow through issues like that, how will she ever be able to provide for her children? Hopefully, there are no strings attached in the arrangement between the Duggars and this widow, but who knows? Crazier stories have been proven true about the Duggars.